Shout out to all the dads out there, the upcoming dads. So excited for everyone who has a baby on the way. Hi, Maria. Welcome to the next episode of Chat E. We have a treat this evening. We have a dad that we're going to be speaking to, which is really exciting, super fun. And a friend of mine from college, Kiyana. She's super awesome. So I can't wait for this to take place. So hope everyone is doing well. Like I said, spoiled your father a little bit, your dad today. If you saw in my story, we made donuts for my dad first time, but everyone should try it. Can send you the recipe. They were bomb. Hey B, hi Mike, hi guys, hi Cass. Glad to have you all this evening. Anyone do anything cool for their dad for today? Even if it's just sending a card, you know, making it well worthwhile. Means something always. So appreciate you guys and your support all the time. And we'll get started very shortly. But for anyone that is just tuning in, welcome to the next episode of Chat E. I'm going to be interviewing a friend of mine from high school and her husband this evening. Super excited about it. And for anyone who is, this is your first episode of Chat E that you're watching or that you're seeing, all of the episodes are posted on my IGTV, so you can go ahead and check those out when we're finished for any of them that you've missed. You can also see them posted on Elko Community Building on YouTube. And there is lots of good things that we're offering, so love to have you all as a part of the community. Here we go. I'm gonna get started. Should be loading. I think we're good to go. Hello!
Hey.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. Did you get the babies to sleep?
Yes, they're asleep.
Okay, perfect timing. Well, I'm super happy that we are able to do this. Hi, Jonah. I'm Ellie. We haven't met officially, but happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Super excited to talk with you guys about your journey, building your family, and just all that you guys have going on. So very excited. I'll start with a little intro and then allow you guys to add anything you feel like I missed, and then we'll get started.
Sounds good.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Chat E. For anyone who has not joined before, hi, my name is Ellie. Chat E is an opportunity for young entrepreneurs, content creators, and people just doing cool things in their communities and impacting others and building and growing to share their story. This evening, I have the wonderful Kiyana and Jonah Meredith, who are young parents, a super strong couple and just family who inspire people through faith and just through connecting. Kiyana and I actually both went to Towson together, and I've kind of been watching her story as she became a wife and a mom, and have grown to know Jonah through that, even though we've never officially met until right now. So glad that we're able to. I think you both are wonderful and just like inspiring as young parents and just everything that you do. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people have questions when jumping into that, and just like you both, like I said, are super inspiring. So I'm really glad to have you in here about your babies, your marriage, and your story.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah. So anything you want to add, or are we ready to jump in?
Do you want to add anything?
No, I think you honestly covered it all.
Perfect. I feel like at this point I've kind of gotten that part down. Most of the time at this point people are like, yeah, you kind of nailed it. I'm like, okay, I'm getting the hang of this. So awesome. So like I said, Kiyana and I, we met in college, and then a couple years ago, you guys have been together for a long time, but do you kind of want to just give a little backstory of your relationship and when you guys got married and all of that?
Sure.
Yeah.
You go first.
Yeah, I can go. So we actually met in high school. I was a junior in high school and he was a senior. So, oh my gosh, that was 8 years ago.
8 years.
Oh my gosh, close to 8 years ago. It's actually
That's
kind
amazing.
of, yeah. And then he was actually at Towson for 2 years.
Okay.
I was there 1 year, so we were together for 1 year at Towson. He ended up transferring. Obviously, we're still together.
Sure,
we
of course.
got married 4 years ago.
That's crazy.
Babies now.
So cute. They're both so precious. And Bryson is so big. Both of them are so big.
I know. They're getting really big.
I like see your picture when your babies are like just born, and then all of a sudden I see your next picture and they're like 3 to 4 times the size. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. But they're so precious, both of them.
Thank you.
Of course, you're welcome. So I know we'll go into your YouTube and dabble into that a little later, just so you guys kind of like sharing your story. But starting a family young is something that I saw that you two had spoken about, and I feel like it's something people either dive into or it's something that they don't. So what made you guys decide that when you're getting married at a young age that you were ready to start a family and just kind of build off of that?
Want me to share?
Yeah, you can go.
So actually a lot that went into that. It wasn't just like one reason. There was many reasons why we chose to get married young and why we pursued that.
Absolutely.
One being we believed that we found the person who we wanted to spend the rest of our life with. You know, like when you were raised like us, like we didn't just date to date. Like our families taught us, hey, if you're gonna date, make sure this is a person that you could see yourself marrying. You know,
Right.
one, not waste time. Two, to not share things with that person. You should share with your spouse. So we firmly believe like we saw husband and wife qualities in the other person. So that's reasons. And another one, just to be honest and frank, like we believed in saving ourselves for marriage.
Yeah.
Just something that not a lot of people practice. And
Absolutely.
we're honest about the fact that it was really hard. Like it was
Of
not
course.
easy
I
thing.
can only imagine. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's a
Especially,
huge deal, and that's super admirable because I know a lot of people try and it just doesn't work out, or they just don't try because they don't think they could do that. So that's amazing, and thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
no problem. And just to kind of move that snowball along, like we know, right, and you know as well, like whenever you're dating and you're pursuing someone in an intimate relationship, like the only inclination and progression of that relationship is to go closer and closer together, and you just want to express how
Yeah.
you feel about one another in that fashion. So that drove us to get married sooner is because we knew, okay, we ain't gonna be able to wait this long
Right. Right. Absolutely.
like that. So
Sure. No, I get it.
waited a year, 2, 3 years more. But for what? If we knew that that was the person we wanted to be with in the long run. So those are just two reasons, but there are many of them, honestly.
No, I think that's so beautiful. Like I shared, I've watched a lot of your videos and kind of like followed your journey. And I think that everything you guys do when you post with your kids and just about your marriage is very intentional. And there's always like so much purpose behind it. And that's like one of the reasons too that I like asked to talk with you, is just because I think that you two are like a couple that I admire, and I know that a lot of other people do. Because even for you, like I said, to share that's a very vulnerable thing, that's a very personal thing, but it's very admirable because a lot of people aren't in that boat and can't do that. And also it just shows how much you love each other and that you knew it was worth the wait. And of course it is. Now you have two precious children, and it's just amazing. So good for you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Of course, you're welcome. So the root of your family, from what I've gotten, is your faith. And for both of you, that's very important. It's very important to me as well. And just, for many people. So how do you guys keep yourself so grounded in your faith? I know that's super important to you, but yeah, that being like the root of so many things, how do you keep yourself grounded with that and like promoted in all the things that you do?
You want to answer or you want me to answer?
Yeah, I can touch on it a little bit.
And you can both at any point just like go off of each other, whatever you want to do, however you guys feel appropriate. Yeah.
So we both have our individual walks. So
Yeah.
God, whether it's reading, praying, just talking with him, and then having our own walks, we come together in pursuit of him and everything that we do, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So just to expand on that, we aren't living for ourselves, point blank period. Like we believe that the reason we exist is to try and honor and glorify God in everything we do. Easiest way to do that is like what Key said, we read a lot, we pray a lot, we ask God for help, but we surround ourselves with people who hold us accountable in those
I was
things.
gonna say that too, yeah.
Like in whatever it is you believe in life, right? Like let's say, you're a person who wants to become a professional athlete, right? Like you're not going to surround yourself with people who aren't helping you get or pushing you to be that person, right? So like in any belief system or pursuit that anybody has, we surround ourselves with people who think the same way, and that helps us to stay as grounded and as rooted in what we believe is possible. So
Right.
yeah.
Because I think that is so important, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, because that negative energy from others so easily can like sway you or have you thinking wrong, and it's just bad for you, right? You know, it's draining and it's not worth it. So that is so important and key to, especially to growing up. And I feel like that's so difficult too, oftentimes, because it's sometimes the people who are negative and bad end up being people you love so much, but you just can't keep that toxic stuff around. So do you guys have any tips or just like anything you would say for someone who really wants to like reroot themselves and ground themselves with God, who feels like as you age and get older, even as a young adult, that they've strayed away, you know, after going to college and kind of being out on their own?
Yeah. So yeah, especially like being college environment, you know, like people are trying to explore other things, and but most importantly, you know what is true and you have to stay true to that. Like Jonah said, like surrounding yourself with other people, but also just like continuing to stay in your word and in prayer. Like there's nothing else that can really keep you on that track. But just being a part of groups or surround yourself with people who will push you to become better, because it's hard to be alone. It's really hard to be alone. So just continuing to do that.
Yeah, I would second that. I think that this life of faith that we live is not one that can be achieved alone, right? Because we believe that temptation and selfishness and just evil is an inclination that every single person has. Like everybody has, right? In varying degrees of it, right? Some people are way off the charts with the evil thoughts they have, and some people, you know, would say that's, you know, just minor, it's small, but no, everybody has a selfish inclination. You know, that's just what we have. We're born with that. Totally. So us, you know, when we go off to college or we're away from our family or away from our support group, the only way we stay grounded and rooted in that and not deviate and go off the path is by staying true to what we know. And that's the core group of people that we live with and we know who can hold us accountable, to just continuing to read the Bible and just pray and just ask God to just keep us on this path of honoring and glorifying him, because it's easy to deviate. It's easy to jump off and do what you want to do. It's easy to jump off and start doing things because, you know, we're selfish by nature, and the world is throwing so many different things at you too. Like it's not even just a personal thing, like a personal, right? The world throws so much at you.
Always, right? Too, right? From all directions, all the time.
Yeah.
Constant. You know, entertainment and money and music,
social media, all of it.
Right? It's just you're always being bombarded with things that we know, is this really good for me? You know, and we have to battle that on a day-to-day basis. So that's what that question.
No, I think that's amazing. But like you said, it's so easy. It's just like, you know, sad, and in so many situations to see it happen. But I know I've, in my own journey too, had times where my faith is super strong. I grew up like going to church every weekend, like my family, all the retreats, like, you know, great relationship with God and everything. But then definitely as I get older, it just like wasn't going as much. And then, you know, working on rekindling my own personal faith and like the journey too. So I also ask these questions for myself because I think that you guys, like I said, are wonderful. So this is really good. So as young parents and just as parents in general, you've probably learned a lot in the last couple of years. What is the most rewarding thing about being a parent? It doesn't just have to be a young parent, but just a parent in general. What would you say for both of you?
Oh, okay. So I think being a parent, like have this, in our case, two little humans that solely depend on you for everything. For food, for love, to keep them clean. Like they rely on you for everything. And just being able to take care of someone and watch them grow, and just for them to show you unconditional love, it's just an amazing feeling. Like there's nothing better than that. Like people will tell you all the time, like, oh, like being a parent is so rewarding, but like actually becoming a parent, like you realize what they're talking about. But it's such a beautiful thing. It's hard work. It's very hard work, but it is very rewarding in that sense that they just give you unconditional love.
I'd agree. I second that, but I'd say I love and look forward to most is being able to raise up young men and women who you have the power to shape and cultivate a life that can impact the world.
You'll become.
You know, like, people don't realize the magnitude and the responsibility of what being a parent is. Like, it's not just raising up cute babies. It's not just making cute babies.
Yeah.
My wife's point, it's not just taking care of those cute babies. It's literally raising and training young men and women on how to impact the world.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge that I take on every day, and I love it, right? It's a take with great responsibility and caution. Like, it's not something that I'm loose with, but it's a challenge to look forward to.
Right.
That's one thing that I love about being a parent, is that's a challenge that I want. Like, I want to look at the end of my life, Lord willing, and say, I did everything I could train my children up to impact this world.
Yeah, absolutely. And they will do great things. Something that I've noticed just like when you've done some of your videos is I feel like a lot of parents don't like talk down on their kids, but they just do everything for them. But I feel like you treat your kids like little humans. Like, I've heard you talk with them and be like, you got this. Like, you're just in your videos, we're going to kind of dive into that now, but are just very real life. Like, there's no like fake BS or nothing like going on. It's like authenticity. It's like real deal. And you're like, hey, yeah, go pick it up. You do it. You can brush your hair. I've been seeing there's all these like Montessori videos on TikTok right now. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok at all, but like or just Montessori like teaching. I don't know if you guys do any of that, like the practice, but like there's 2-year-olds cooking their waffles in the morning, and these parents are teaching their kids to do all kinds of stuff. But I don't know if it's any kind of that practice, but I just think you guys do a really awesome job from what I've seen. Just talking to them like little people, like, you got this, like a lot of like advocacy for themselves, like independence, and they're doing great. So I don't know if you follow any of those. Have you seen those Montessori practices? You know what I'm talking about?
On Instagram, and we have a couple of friends that have their kids in Montessori school.
Yeah, like 2-year-olds are literally adding blueberries and like mixing the eggs and everything they need for the breakfast, like waffles and pancakes. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? That's so crazy.
Bringing that up though, that I think that's something that we can discuss real quickly. Like, I think that I'm not I'm not fully knowledgeable on everything that Montessori is.
Me neither. I'm a teacher, and me neither.
So from what we've seen, right, like in one of our friends, their son has just grown tremendously, right? Because differently, and they train differently, and they expose them to things. But I know for our household, the only thing we try to do is understand that they're going to be adults one day.
Totally.
You know, like, we of course need to love them and meet them where they are in their toddlerhood, in infanthood, right? But they need to hear us speak in a way, and they need to hear us lead them in a way that's going to be consistent with how they're going to be taught and led and spoken to for a majority of their life. You know, like, there's like you said you guys are real with it. Like, you don't, you know, there's no BS.
You're not babying them. They're like little, they're small children, they're small people, but you're not babying them.
Yep. And they need to know that the relationship from parent to child is always going to be one of love, right? Always going to be one to provide, but it's not going to be a thing where it's all about you.
Yeah.
Right. Ever.
That's the danger, right? Like, and really it's just American society. It's really where it's all about the kids. You know, kids are important, but their life is not even about them, right? It's pouring into them so they can pour into somebody else. So that's just how we try to live in our household. So
yeah, we do.
Yep.
No, and that's amazing. I think the parents are everything, right? The parenting aspect is so important. You help in so many ways shape your kids. After I turned 18, my dad was like, at this point, I've done all I can. Like, now it's up to you. But you are there. Like, so many of my morals, my values, everything, right, is from my parents and things that I've learned. So that's so important. And you also meet people in college, and you're like, you've been babied now until now.
Yeah, and you can tell.
And you know. And like parents, and then they go to school and they just don't know what hit them. They got no idea. So that's really, really special and really important to start. So I think it's great. I noticed it right away and I was like, they're going to be thriving. They already are thriving. And they're so big. I'm like, I would guess that they're so much older than they are because they just like are doing everything. They're doing so great.
Yeah, Bryson will be 2 next month.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. Very exciting though. Do you guys have a party planned now that COVID's over, right? Oh, it's not over. That's not what I meant. But now that things are opening up, oh my gosh, people get so mad. I don't think that. But now that it's getting better, people can hang out with each other. Most people are vaccinated. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We'll probably just have like a cookout or something for them. Nothing huge. Just
super nice.
Something.
Yeah, can be outside, can hang. Oh my gosh, guys, I take it back. COVID's not over. It didn't mean that. People get so upset with that. Oh my gosh, that's not what I meant. I don't think that.
Even if Ellie, you believe that it's over, we wouldn't beat you up for it. We still got love for you. It's all right.
Thanks so much. I got my mask right here. I'm good. I just, you know what I mean. Some people are just not having it, and that's not what I meant. Oh my gosh. So, like I said, I've been following Kiyana for a while and seen your journey, but a lot of it I started watching your YouTube channels. Your YouTube channel. One morning I woke up and I was like, wonder what they're up to. They just posted a new video. So I clicked on it and I was watching, which is where I saw a lot of these, like your parenting and like how you guys talk to the kids. Very natural, very fun and real, authentic. So what made you decide that you wanted to start a YouTube channel? Because once things are on YouTube and just on social media in general, it's really out there.
Yep. You want to start?
You can go.
Yeah, I think we wanted to start a YouTube channel initially because, right, like we didn't know how long it was going to last.
Right.
We had more time on our hands because at that point, none of us were at work. We were both working, but from home.
Right.
He said, hey, like, you know, actually, what did I propose the idea? I proposed it. I was like, hey, so what do you think about like doing a YouTube channel? She was like, for what? And I'm like, well, a lot of our family would love to see what's going on with us.
Yeah. Totally.
And you everything on FaceTime. Like you can try, but it's not realistic. So I'm like, why don't we, try a YouTube channel? And initially, I think you were like, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But as we started to do it, like she fell in love with it. Like she actually kind of took the reins, and I was the one on for the ride. Like she really loved it.
Yeah.
Pumping out content, and it was really fun. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it because we were showing our family and the world, because a lot of the people that were tuning in were actually people we knew, like family members, friends, distant cousins, whoever, like were tuning in because they weren't getting to see the kids grow up.
Sure.
That's really how it got started and how it got kicked off.
Yeah, that was the main reason. And also because we just wanted to reach people. I mean, like you said, like we wanted to show people like the real us, how you should really be living, and kind of like what we're looking for. Not to teach, not to lead.
We're married, we love each other, but that telepathy right now is not working.
Not coming to me. But to be an example for other people. That's what I'm looking for.
Be an example?
To be an example for other people, and just to kind of show them how you should live as Christians, and not only just Christians, but Christian parents.
Yeah.
And we, like I said, wanted to be real. And also just for us to have like memories in the future, like you can kind of go back and like, oh, this is what our Christmas was like.
Right. Totally.
Really struggling in our marriage, so we can watch one of our dining room discussions to really be living, kind of as a refresher. So things like that. And it's crazy because I have students come up to me. Like I saw a student in Walmart the other day, and she was like, oh, Miss Meredith, and she's in high school now. I teach middle school. She's in high school. Watch your YouTube videos, and like it just warms my heart to hear that the kids are watching too.
That's true. And Ellie, we got something to confess too. I don't know if this was later in your question list, but we haven't actually posted a video in a while.
Yeah.
She told me that you guys weren't posting right now, and she's like, do you still want to do this? I was like, yes, I still think you guys are wonderful. Yes.
We haven't posted a video in a while, and we think a majority of it is because the world's opening back up.
Yeah.
Consequently, our lives pick back
more,
up.
Yeah.
Like we got, there's a lot more to do outside of the home and inside of the home. And we also got to the point where we didn't want to miss out on things that were happening in the home because we were so busy shooting content.
For sure.
We don't know if that's the final verdict. We know we just took a step back from it because maybe we might find a way to do both. Maybe we just scale it back a little bit, or film a different type of video or condense things. But at this current time, we haven't made a video because it's been a very busy time, and school year was winding down for her, so it was a very hectic and emotional year, going in the building, out the building, mixing with
Read online, in person.
I get it. I'm a teacher too, so I'm in elementary school, but I get it. It's been crazy.
Definitely.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. We don't know if we're going to start it back up, but if we do, you'll be one of the people that find out. So.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'll be looking for it. I think that it's really huge of you to have taken that step back, though, and just acknowledging that you didn't need it right now. I mean, obviously, it's really fun and exciting, and it's awesome that you found like something else that you enjoy doing, and it's like showing your family and that authenticity. But realistically, like, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you can always go back. Maybe instead of your, what was it, the dining room? What was it called?
Dining room discussions.
Dining room discussions, you could do like ones in the car. You've done something in the car before when you went to your high school, right?
Yeah.
I saw that one too. But you could do something in the car, or like, I mean, there's.
Really watching the video.
I promise, I really did. I really, really did. Not even like recent. I like watched them whenever I reached out to you a long time ago, and I was like, I was watching you guys for like, ended up being like an hour. Watched a couple videos this morning. Do you want to like do my thing? No, I did. And she had this whole conversation with Bryce, like it was like getting his morning routine, and it was going on, and she said like it was like 15-20 minutes, and I'm just like, he's so cute, but she hadn't. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Dad's home with the kids, and mom left. I've seen him all, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
It's like, oh
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh. Yes, I'm totally supportive of your YouTube career, though. In the future, I think you should get back at it eventually.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, but it's really big of you to just like realize you don't need it right now. And I think social media and just content creation, all of that is such a distraction when we're trying to live in the present moment, especially now that we kind of can do that. And for big content creators too, and you guys of course would like continue to build, it's a lot of effort and a lot of time. I don't think people know, like not everybody knows that. It's like you post a video, but it's like, do you know how long I took to edit that, to like get, how where I needed to be for this to happen, the lighting, everything. It's a lot.
And it's not just 12 minutes of content. They're probably 50 an hour. Like,
Yeah. And the amount of time that it takes to edit, it's insane. So.
And on top of that, real quick, before we switch subjects, like
Sure.
we all realize that content creators, even as good as they are, there's some content creators we love to watch, right? The reality that not a lot of them share is that even though they get great content for subscribers and for their viewers, they're missing out on certain parts of their life shooting
For
the
sure. Totally.
So we wanted to make sure, like, okay, if this is something that we're signing up to do,
Right.
what to let go of. And at that current moment, we were like, we're not willing to give up, the family time
No.
and that the camera can't capture.
Sure.
But then who knows, maybe we might want to get back in there, start making some videos again soon. Who knows? But we'll see.
I feel like your kids are going to have some personality, so they will be ready to rock and roll in a few years. But they're so little, though, too. They're so tiny. So it's like these are the moments, too, more than any time that you don't want to miss anything. So
time period, too. It's like Raylan, like, boom, she's starting to walk now, like, out of nowhere.
Oh, my gosh.
Happened.
Wow.
So crazy. Oh, my gosh. They're both seriously so precious. I can't believe he's almost 2.
Thank you. I know. It's ridiculous.
So exciting. I'm not going to even say this. You'll get sad. I was going to say, before you know it, you'll be sending him off to college, but let me not even say that. I know I almost didn't, but then I was like, I can't be that person that starts and doesn't finish, because I hate when people do that to me.
Ellie, it's all good. We got balance. You see how she didn't like it? I'm not mad at it.
He's like ready for it. He's like, it'll happen.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
So I have one more just YouTube question in general for when and if you decide to get back into content creation. When you were deciding on the topics that you were gonna like discuss and present, like you said, you talked about some stuff that you guys were dealing with as a couple, which is super real, talking about morning routines and like time with dad, like real stuff. How did you decide what was appropriate or what you felt like you wanted the world to know about you? Because there definitely is, when you're creating certain things, like people have boundaries, or just be selective about what you decide to share.
Yep, phenomenal question. I'll take the lead on it. I'll say the first thing is, and we've kind of bounced this idea back and forth about being real. I think we always wanted to be real.
Yep.
Like we get into making videos for the sake of making a video. Like if we wanted to show you something as a viewer, we wanted to be a thing where it's something that we experience that we feel has value
Right.
that else should know about.
And they can relate to.
Or even maybe not. Some people might not be able to relate to it, but just something that we felt like was valuable for them to know, you know, about how we live or what we're doing, and make it, you know, resonate or connect with somebody.
Absolutely.
But we always felt like we wanted to be real. When it comes to sharing in depth, right? Not a lot of people share in depth about what's going on, relationship, marriage, life, whatever. I always wanted to take the route for myself of never crossing the line of dishonoring her.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sharing anything that I've ever been through, right? But that's not how I can't function like that in my marriage. I have to make sure that now that one, everything that I share is protecting her.
Of course.
Unless she comes out her mouth and says it, you know. I can't be the one to share something that's close and really personal with her that I might feel is comfortable, because that's not loving and protective of her. So I would always steer clear from going down a road that, you know, is too in depth. But in all honesty too, like there have been times we were sharing on a dining room discussion and she would say, hey, I think that was a little much. You know, do you mind running that back? And like we literally cut and rerun from a point that we was like, that might be a little too much. So I just always try to, even in my shortcomings in it, make sure that I'm always protecting her.
Yeah.
You know? So that's one thing I try to do when it comes to picking what we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. That's so important, and really cool thing about making videos like that you can edit it out versus, you know, that you're able to do that. And a lot of people, when they're making content, even though it might be funny or engaging, they're not doing that at all.
Yeah.
Or it's just like for the views or for the likes or for the sponsorships. And not saying some of it's not worth it by any means, but you know, it's just, you can tell that they don't have that balance. And I can just tell that you guys have a really strong relationship and respect each other a lot, which like I said, it's very admirable and great. And like I said, your kids, if you guys don't continue making a channel of your own, I think the two of them would have one. I can see it just even now. Like, let me see the camera. We remember you used to use these when we were small, when we were tiny humans.
Bryson loves being in front of that camera now, Ellie. Yeah. I know you see it. Like
I do. He's so funny.
Like as we put out more videos, he got more and more in front of the camera. Like he was seeking in front of the camera.
He's so funny. He's so cute. Does his nickname? I've heard you guys call him Bam. Does his nickname? Is it his initials?
It is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Bryson Avery Meredith.
Okay, so cute. So when you guys were naming your kids, how did you this is like a me question, I'm just being nosy. Where did those names come from? They're both super cute, and I feel like I don't know a lot of Brysons or Raylands.
Yeah.
So literally it was just us Googling baby names and scrolling through literally hundreds and hundreds of pages and names and just finding one. Like we came up with a list of like 3 or 4 names for boys and girls and kind of like narrowed it down that.
But honestly, we had a lot of issues. Like we didn't agree on a lot of names.
Girl names.
Hey, no, we had a period too where we didn't agree on boy names either.
We had more options though.
There were a lot more options for boy names, but we both we struggled because there were a lot of names that we both liked.
Yeah.
She realized that I don't have a student name and I can't have a son named the same name as my student. And I understand.
So I think of the student.
I understand that. So that knocked off a bunch of names, Ellie. A bunch of names. So then we had names. So we finally got to one that, you know, we both liked and we picked it. But the girl names are hard, like really hard, because she just has a completely different flow that she wants for her girl names than I do. So that we found 2 names that work so far. I don't know. The next might come out as unknown until we figure it out.
Yeah. So, that's a good segue. So, do you guys plan on continuing to build your family? I feel like you've said that in one of your videos too, that you want to have a larger family, or at least more than 2.
Indeed. Yep. I can't tell you how many,
Yeah.
because we kind of believe, not kind of believe, we do believe.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you, truly. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but like we believe that we don't want to tell God what we're going to do with our bodies.
Right.
I believe that it's my job to be super thoughtful and super understanding of the fact that she's the one bearing the children.
Of course, yes.
Hey, oh yeah, we having 9, because I'm one of 9. My mom is on a whole nother level. She's an amazing woman. She's different, Ellie. There's no other woman.
I believe. Where do you fall in that 9?
Yeah, I'm the 3rd oldest, but a twin though, so I'm a younger of a set of twins.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
It's crazy. So we can have an interview about my mom on a whole nother. But for her though, I told her, I said that we came to an agreement about how many kids we think we would want, but we're ultimately trusting God for his guidance the whole way, because for her, she might get to the next child and her body could really be going through it, and it's my job as her husband to protect her, right, in any way. So it'd be insensitive to say, oh no, we're going again, like she's the one that's having the children and her body's going through that. So it's not loving to force. That's not loving at all. So I'm just trying my best to meet her where she needs to be met. If she says, hey, I'm feeling led to have more children, cool, we'll meet there. But if not, it's not love to keep putting your wife through that when you're not on the same page about that at all.
You got a good one, Key. This is good news. I mean, a lot of people do not talk like that. That's awesome. I mean, I feel like, though, that you guys have that openness about, where you're at with that. And you're right. The respect is there. But I don't feel like a lot of couples meet there, or it kind of just happens sometimes and you don't expect it, and that's okay. But, I think that's a really great way to look at it. And God will bless you with what you're supposed to be blessed with. You have 2 beautiful kids right now, and then you'll just see. Excited to see. You guys, if you have 9 kids, you have to have a YouTube channel. Maybe a TV show.
Hey,
right. Maybe a show.
We would have to get back on it for that. We'd have to. Oh
my gosh, that's crazy. I mean, I saw some TikToker who had quadruplets recently, so sometimes it just happens. Not saying that's going to happen.
That is crazy.
That's a different level.
Yep.
That's a grind. That's a different level grind.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4. That's like a lot sometimes.
At
but
one.
I mean, at one time. Right. That's nuts. Every once in a while, but it's exciting. It's exciting. I don't know if you'll have quadruplets, but I'm just joking around. But I don't want to scare you, and obviously, I don't know. I'm just, but it's very exciting.
Ellie, if we had quadruplets, you would have to take it as it comes. You can't control that.
You're right. That's just the way. Yep. You're right.
Yep. So.
That's mind blowing. Yep. We'll see.
It is.
God's got a plan. He will figure it out. He'll let you know. We'll let you know. So if you all were to describe each other in 3 words, you both have an opportunity to pick 3 words to describe your partner. What would they be and why?
Wow, that's a good question. You want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Selfless. Hardworking.
Are you gonna explain each after you're done? No, I'm saying that's cool. You're just gonna say all 3, then explain.
Well, I was gonna tell her that was part of it too.
Don't get on me.
Just kidding. I was gonna say she can say her 3, but then I was gonna say and why. Selfless, hardworking.
Selfless, hardworking, and humble.
And humble? Is that what you said?
Humble, yeah.
Okay, good.
Selfless, like every day. Jonah works hard. He comes home. He asks what I need. Constantly serving me, serving the kids. It's literally never about himself. He's always thinking about someone else, about helping someone else, about how he can serve that person. And it's just a beautiful thing to witness. What was my second one? Hardworking. I kind of touched on it too, but literally never takes a break. He always goes 110% in everything that he does. And I mean, it's crazy for me to see. I don't know how he does it. Like, it's like, even though he's tired, fatigued, like he could sit down and fall asleep, like he doesn't. He works for other people. And then humble.
You're silly. You got to keep sharing.
I
Don't
know.
look at me.
I know,
look at
I know,
them.
I know. Okay. Humble, I would say that you're pretty good at a lot that you do, but you don't, boast about it. You don't, tell everybody, oh, well, like, I have all this stuff going on, but I'm still doing this, like, you just are very low key, you keep it chill.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's why I said
he's not tooting his own horn.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate that.
Doesn't do that.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, babe. That's a good question, Ellie. 3 words.
The reason I like to ask this because it really makes people think.
It does.
And especially if I'm interviewing one person and they're doing it about themselves or like a self-reflection too. And it's, it's a good one.
I would say, and I don't want to waste one too. That's what I'm trying to be careful. I would say,
you can use 4 if you want.
Thanks.
Or 5. Or
you
6.
just lighten my load.
Or 11. I don't know. 12. I like even numbers. Let's go with 12. 11.
One of them is sweet. Like, Key is one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Like someone whose spirit's always light. Spirit's always engaging. Even though we all have our evil moments, right, our selfish moments, hers just seems so much lighter. Like she's just a very easygoing, light-spirited person always. And I've seen her like that with any person she's been with, whether it's someone she doesn't know all the way down to her own children, right? Like she's just one of the sweetest people I've ever met, like hands down. I would also say on the flip side of that, Key is one of the most competitive people I've ever seen. And competitive in a good way. Like, not only does she want to beat you if you're playing a game, or not only does she want to, show you that, no, I'm better at this than you, like in a competition setting, like she goes hard for her family as well. It's not just a competing, like, I'm better than you, Ellie, at this specific thing, but it's like, I'm going to make sure that everything I do, everything in my life, I'm fighting for mine. I'm fighting for my husband. I'm fighting for my kids. I'm fighting for my mom, my dad, my brother, whoever. Like she's a fighter, and I got to see that all through high school because she played basketball, and whoever met her in college got to see it also because of basketball. But like, she flips a switch when it's time to compete. Like this sweet, bubbly, smiling, showing all these teeth, Kiyana. She's not the same Kiyana when it comes to competing. Like, she is willing to get bloody and do whatever she has to do for her team to win.
Yeah.
So she's competitive people I've ever seen. And I would say lastly, I would say that she's also one of the most loving people I've ever seen. Like, she loves hard. Like, I know when I've disappointed her or dishonored her in any way, because she should, so she loves really hard. She makes sure that the people that are closest to her know that she loves them, because she shows it, like, in everything she does. Like, forget service, forget anything like that. Like, just person to person, you will feel her love in her presence, so I would say loving, competitive, and sweet are just 3 of the things that I would use to describe her, for sure.
I think what you guys have is so special, and it's so obvious how much you love each other. And I had no doubt in my mind before we started this by any means, but like, it's a really, really special thing.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. No, seriously. I could tell you a million times I just admire you guys. I do. Truly. So earlier we talked about the most rewarding thing that you feel that you've gotten, you know, since becoming a parent, but what is your favorite thing? Your kids are small, they're like learning a lot, like walking, talking, right, all this stuff, some of the hugest milestones in their life as little people. What is your favorite thing to do with them as a parent? Just like something fun, or like, I don't know what they're into, but what is your favorite thing to do with your kids?
I would say probably just being outside them. Like Bryson just loves being outside. Like he's like a totally like he's like on another level when he's outside, whether it's like throwing rocks in the water, picking up or literally just walking around the neighborhood, pointing out the police cars and the stops and the trees and the airplanes. Yeah, I just love seeing him in his element like that. Because he just really enjoys it. Like when we tell him, okay, Bryce, let's get our shoes, go outside, he's like screams like outside.
Right, he's so excited about it, right? And it's so cool to see how much little kids know. Like, you know, they hear us talking and all of a sudden they know what everything is. You know, you're pointing some of it out, but then the next time he has it all on his own, and then all of a sudden he says something and it's like, where'd you get that? But he's right. Smart. So smart.
Exactly. Where'd you learn that? But yeah, I love seeing him do that.
Yeah, I would second that too. I think my favorite thing to do with Bryson is to watch him enjoy outdoors for sure. And the reason why it's grown so much on me is because I'm not an outdoorsy guy. Like my style of chilling, like the hardest is literally staying indoors and doing nothing.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel that.
Like so let me let you in on a little something. Like for me and Key, like if we ever go on vacation, right? We've been on vacations as a family, just each other, whatever. My thing is I just want to do nothing.
Yeah.
Like get away from my job, get away from my city, get away from everything and do nothing. Like I don't have to do no activities.
Yeah.
You know? And I take that with me in my day-to-day life. Like I'm a homebody hardcore. Like I don't have to feel fulfilled, to feel like I'm doing anything with my life. Like I can stay with my family in my house for the rest of my life and I'll be good. So
literally.
So for me, that's why it's so special that Bryson loves to be outdoors. That's because that's completely contradictory to who I am.
Right.
So I'm having to learn how to love him and meet him where he needs to be met.
Right.
I enjoy it. Like my favorite thing to do outside is throwing rocks in the water with him. Like he just loves to throw rocks in the water because he swears he's throwing it so far and so hard, and he's throwing. And he's like boom, and it went like a foot. Like
right. His muscles. He thinks he's so
yeah.
Funny.
Thoroughly enjoy it. So that's my favorite thing to do. And Raylan's not old enough yet to where she has a thing for her to be outside too, because she's trying to walk at 8 months, and that's not.
How old she was.
Yeah, like a lot of babies walk really well around 11 months to a year.
Right.
Starting to try to walk right now, so I can't wait to see what she does outside too.
Very exciting. And do they get along pretty well, or does he like love being a big brother?
Oh, he loves it. He's just an affectionate kid. Like probably kisses Ray like 50 times a day.
That's so sweet though.
Let me kiss, give her a hug. Well, so we're still trying to teach him how to be gentle.
Of course.
Very heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Like,
he'll like grab her head and like pull her and try and kiss her.
He's gonna be so mad when she can do it back.
I
know. Gonna do it, and she's gonna be like, no, she's not gonna be having it, because she will. She will, 100%.
Like she'll like grab his hair right now. He'd be like, oh, Ray.
Right. That's so funny. Yeah, it's all part of it. Learning. One of these days, you're just gonna snap. That's so cute, though. I can tell from pictures and stuff too that they love each other so much. So that's really special, also. In regards to when we talked about just like faith overall being like the center of your journey and your family and everything, how do you make that connection and not enforce that? I don't want to use that word, but just share that with your kids. You know, I think from such a young age, it's important, and I know that you share that with them. Do you guys understand what I'm asking? Kind of like, how do you make that a part of their life when they're so little?
Sure, you want me to share?
I can share a couple of things. Just like, excuse me. Just teaching them how to serve. So with Bryson especially, like just teaching him how to tend to the house, like whether it's helping sweep or with laundry. I mean, I'm not making him do chores.
He's so cute. He's like this big and he's
I fully support it. I support it.
I mean, you should. I think that's great, but the room is probably like 5 times his size, and he's just like so cute.
Like, if anything, like, he doesn't help the situation. Like, if we're sleeping, like, he'll sweep the dirt in the dustpan out of the dustpan.
Of course, or trying to help, right? Make an attempt.
Yeah, exactly. But teaching him just how to serve and love other people. Like, we pray with him before we eat, before he goes to bed.
The little videos, I saw that too.
Yeah. So there's a couple things that we do.
I like that. So I'm gonna say 2 things. I'm gonna sum what she set up and say we try to help them understand, even in those younger ages, right? A lot of people think kids don't know, but they know.
They know.
So train them like they're young humans and not just dumb babies. They know. But just to help them to understand that the world and life is so much bigger than them. You know, and you do that by doing the things that Key said, like helping them to understand that, no, it's not just about what you want to do. Like, there are tribute to home.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing that we can do, and you see this in good homes and bad homes, is the parents living out what they want their kids to embody is the driving force.
That's true.
Like, you cannot, your kids aren't stupid. You can't teach them to do something that you aren't doing yourself, because they're eventually going to get to the point and say, okay, this is not adding up. What is completely different than what I'm hearing, you know? So for us, if we want our kids to grow up and to love God, if we want them to grow up and to live lives that are not for themselves but are all about loving others and serving others, we have to do that. You know? Absolutely. And it's not to them, it's like I have to do that to her, and she has to do that to me, and they see, oh, so this is how mommy and daddy are living. This is what real life is like. And that's why you get out into the world and you have people who are a hot mess because they saw a hot mess at home.
Right.
You know, so I think that's the biggest driving force. We have to be everything that we want them to be.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think that's a good point too, saying you meet people in the world who are a hot mess, but teaching your kids like kindness and just being like real and, you know, good work ethic and all that stuff when they're so little can allow them to maybe be kind to someone who is a hot mess, to kind of be like, what can I do that's more like them, right, in their future. And I think that's so important to, like you said, both of you, that you underestimate kids, right? And they're smart. Like, they understand what's going on. I was long-term subbing for a while in kindergarten, and these are small kids. Like, they haven't, especially with COVID, like this was a lot of their first experiences in school, and they didn't come in person till March. So they're like wearing masks and sitting 6 feet apart, but they think this is the coolest experience ever. But like, a lot of kids are so little and helpless because they haven't had all of that assistance. But then you tell them one time, and or like, you know, in a school setting, but you tell them one time and they got it, or they understand, and they know, they like know what's right and wrong. They know.
Right.
5 years old. Most of them like 4 and 5 and 6, I guess. But they know, smart cookies. So can't underestimate them. And that Hot Mess Express is going to be helped because your children are being kind.
Yes.
Indeed. I agree with you 100%.
And spreading positivity. Well, I think both of you are wonderful. I will, even if you're not going to toot your own horns, I will, because I admire your relationship and you as parents, and I know your kids love you so much and you love them. You have a really special something, and I'm so glad that we got to chat. Be on the lookout for your YouTube if you bring it back up. I would actually, if either one of you have one, I would love like a new Devo to kind of like look into, something that if either of you have any suggestions, I'll ask you after this, just something like a personal something for me. And just to kind of close out, just so you know, I'll send you a copy of our interview, and then it will also be posted on YouTube. I just post them all. I have under Elko Community Building, so everyone can watch this. And then if either of you have any other tips just for people who are like maybe struggling in their faith or struggling and just finding their way, either as a person, as a young parent, as like a young person, as a young married couple, anything at all, if you just have anything that you'd want to close out with.
Yeah, great.
And a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. You want me to just say something?
Yeah, you can go.
I would just say, honestly, if they want to talk, hit us up. Like, we have no problem talking to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, it can be someone random. Like, we firmly believe that everything that someone poured into us at one point, we can pour into somebody else. So feel free to contact us on our, any of our social medias, reach out to us on our YouTube. But I think the biggest thing would be just continue to ask God for help. Like the Bible tells us that praying is our greatest form of faith and relying on God for everything we need. And people think it's crazy, right? Oh, you're just talking to nobody. You're just like, no. Like if you believe that there's a God, then we're talking to him and we're praying and asking him for help, because everybody needs God's help for something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're all going through something, whether major or minor, right? And it's not even about how it looks relatively. Like what could be a big deal for you might not be a big deal for me, and vice versa. But
Right.
we're all that we need God's help for. So I would just say, pray, ask God for help, and don't be afraid to reach out to those are walking and trying to live the way that they should, So just don't be afraid to ask for help, and we're here. Like we're one of those people, those couples out there that want to help, and we don't want our life about us ever. Like we just want to help people as much as we can. So.
Oh, you guys are so awesome. And that's the thing too, is, everyone's hit with obstacles at different points in life too. So someone might deal with something when they're 22 and someone might deal with someone when they're 42. And, same extremity, different extremity, I don't know. But everyone's on a different journey and a different path, so. And well, that was awesome. Yeah. Well, you are amazing. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. And thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you for the first time.
Of course, nice to meet you. Happy Father's Day again.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, thanks, girlfriend. I will. Have a good night, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.